everyone, I'm your host Amber. Welcome back to my show, the Amber Dazzle Show. None other, my friend, dazzling with me today is my celebrity makeup artist, Shelly Rana.
Hi.
Shelly, welcome back.
Thank you for having me back on the set, Amber.
I'm so excited today, Shelly, because we are going to be talking about the jewel palette, the Amber Dazzle Jewel Palette. It's available on amberdazzle.com. And now today, Shelly is going to show our viewers what magic she can do with the eyes using the jewel palette. So let's take it out of this lovely packaging. As you can see, the jewel palette has a lot of pigmented colors that we have created just for you. So when you look at the colors, as you can see, Shelly will be playing with them on my eyes today. So Shelly, as you can see, I'm wearing a maroon dress, right? So why don't we use some pink or maroon hues? What do you think? What do you suggest?
Yeah, I would definitely go for the Cleopatra. Okay. I think that's a beautiful color, and we can kind of smoke it out with this black also.
Okay, let's get started and let's show our viewers.
Okay. So the first thing you want to do is you want to know about the brushes and the correct brushes to use. So for eyeshadows, I always like to use a brush that has some sort of like fluffiness to it, like this brush.
So Shelly, you're going to start off which color?
So for the outfit that you're wearing, I'm going to go ahead and go in with the Cleopatra. It's a really pretty maroonish type color. So I'll go ahead and pick that up with a fluffy brush.
You're going to do it on the right eye? Yeah.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and I would just pat that in on just the lid itself.
Okay.
And then just kind of buff it in. And the key here is to just really blend the eyeshadow. And the best thing about this jewel palette is like the eyeshadows are very pigmented. So you really don't need to pick up too much product either.
I like hearing that, Shelly.
Yeah. And all you do is just kind of buff it in. And I think this palette itself is so versatile. You can create so many different looks with it. Like it's like that one palette in all your tons of palettes that you have that's like that go-to. And it can create pretty much any look that you're going for. So we go ahead and cover the whole lid with that.
Okay, perfect. As you can see, so yeah.
Next, what I do is I take the other side of the brush, which is at a more angle, and I go in with the black, okay?
So now, why do people use a light color? Can you explain our viewers, and then use a darker color on the edge? What does actually signifies on the eyes?
So I think using that, it really helps bring out the eye, and it when you use darkers on the end and
like on the edges?
On the edges, it actually really brings out your eyes and it makes them look bigger than what they are. So that's kind of the key here. And you want to make an L shape, like kind of going down towards the liner.
L shape, that's interesting.
And then I take the other side of the brush and just kind of blend that in. Just keep blending it. And the key to good eyeshadow is you have to take your time to just really blend in the eyeshadow.
You know, Shelly, it's funny that you say that because every time I'm on the go, I'm like, let's just forget about blending. Just slap on the eyeshadow. But I guess blending is important, right?
Blending is very important because you don't want any of the harsh lines to show. So I think that's really important. That's like kind of the key to good eyeshadow is just really blending the colors in. A lot of people skip this step and then they're like, oh, you know, they don't understand how to do the eyeshadow, but take a little bit of time and just kind of blend that in. So that's kind of a perfect like eyeshadow.
Okay, so basically what you did Cleopatra and you blended it with the black agate color. So, and what about the rest of the, like up here? What would you recommend here?
So for your brow bone, I really do like the first color here. So we can take a different brush.
Can you also show our viewers the brushes that you're using? Because that's always a mystery as well.
So this angle brush is a good one for your brow, above your brow. So I take the first color in the palette.
Now this is a lighter shade that you're picking.
Yes.
So now a very interesting concept. In eyeshadows, a lot of people, the mistakes that people do, they start mixing 2 dark colors or 3 dark colors. Now over here, what she is doing is she's doing a high definition dark color on the L-shaped side. Then she's using a solid base color all over.
Yeah.
And now Shelly is picking a lighter shade. So basically you're playing with 3 colors, right?
Exactly. So you want to go light, medium, and dark.
Okay.
So the light color that I like to use, I like to kind of define the brow, like right up there. Just right over there. And then I also like to use the lighter shade right on the cupid, like just right there. Your eyes lines right there, and then just on top as well. If you want to like kind of bring out the colors more, there's a lot of glitter in here that you can just put easily on top of the eyeshadow you have, as well as you know, you can pair a lot of the colors.
So glitter, okay.
We can go ahead and mix this this color right here with the
So with the glitter, you're dabbing it with a finger, right?
Exactly. I like to use finger for
like
the more shimmery shades, because it really picks up the pigment better. And then what
you don't want to use a brush?
Not for the glitter. Okay. I like to use the glitter with fingers.
I'm just picking. I'm just joking.
Go ahead and close your eyes, and then just where you want the glitter to show up, you just kind of lightly tap it in. So what this does is it kind of brings out the eyes for nighttime as well. And you just lightly tap it.
Wow, I feel like Cleopatra already.
So that's
so as you can see, yeah,
that's
how does it look? So this is it for the mini makeup tutorial with our celebrity makeup artist Shelly Rana. And Shelly, so after we are done, can you please do my other eye too?
Yes, of course. I really hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial, and it just looks so beautiful, and it's a quick 5-minute eyeshadow.
Thank you, and keep on watching us.
Thank you.
Hello viewers, I'm bringing again my segment Health and Wellness with Dr. Shabnam on Amber Dazzle Show. And today I have a great guest, a beautiful person, a great colleague, my favorite gastroenterologist, Dr. Sumbul Zafar, on my show. Hi Sumbul, how are you?
Hi Seba, I'm fine, thank you. Thank you for having me, it's a pleasure.
The pleasure is ours. Let me introduce Dr. Sumbul Zafar to you. Dr. Sumbul Zafar did her medical school at Sindh Medical University in Karachi, Pakistan. She did her internal medicine residency at the Case Reserve Western University and did her double fellowships, actually geriatric fellowship at University of Cleveland and Hepatology and Gastroenterology Fellowship at University of Arkansas. She's currently practicing as a gastroenterologist in a private practice at Digestive Health Associates in Dallas. Sumbul, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So we thought of talking about a very common problem, a very important topic, reflux or GERD or heartburn. So what is GERD? What is reflux, heartburn? What do you want to tell our viewers about it?
Well, it's a very important topic, Saba, and I'm so glad that you decided that this would be something we talk about. About 60 million Americans suffer from heartburn at some point in their life, and it's a symptom or it's a manifestation of GERD, which is a more serious consequence of the symptom of heartburn. And heartburn can be presented by patients in many different ways. Sometimes they'll come up and say they have a burning sensation where they feel up here. Sometimes it's a sensation of chest pain. There are multiple emergency room visits in the United States due to complaints of chest pain, which are non-cardiac, which means they're not due to heart problems, but really end up due to GERD or heartburn symptoms. Some patients will have difficulty swallowing. Sometimes there are other serious symptoms as well. So certainly a very, very important thing to discuss.
So what are the causes of GERD or reflux?
So to understand the cause of GERD, you have to understand a little bit of how our GI system works. So we have a tube that connects from the mouth down to the stomach, which we call the esophagus, and that connects over to the stomach. Normally, the stomach secretes all these great digestive juices, which help us to digest our food properly, including some gastric acid. The lower part of that tube that I mentioned to you has a muscle muscular valve which keeps everything closed, so nothing from the stomach comes up here. If that relaxes, that valve opens up, then unfortunately the acid starts to come up here and causes a lot of injury to the lining of the stomach then. And that's what is GERD and what heartburn is, the underlying cause.
The underlying causes. So what is causing that muscle to relax and let the acid come up to your esophagus? Would you enlighten us with that?
Absolutely. You know, a lot of times we don't even think, because these are simple things that all of us keep as a part of our life, but coffee, caffeinated drinks, carbonated drinks, alcohol, tobacco, unfortunately, is one of the biggest culprits. And then certain medicines also, like ibuprofen and Aleve, unfortunately can cause further damage to the lining of the esophagus. Pregnancy in women, when you have a higher level of progesterone, also tends to relax the lower part, and as a result of that, you end up with more reflux. Up into the esophagus.
How about those late night dinners? You know, sometimes we do late night dinners and we drink soda, and sometimes when you drink alcohol, that also exacerbates, it makes the reflux worse.
Absolutely.
And anytime you gain weight, and from a primary care standpoint, anytime you gain a little bit of weight, you do develop reflux, and it can actually make it worse.
Absolutely.
So what are the treatments for reflux available?
So when we approach reflux in a patient, it's with both lifestyle modifications and also from the standpoint of medications. When we talk about lifestyle modifications, there's some very simple interventions, just like you kind of touched on that there. Lose weight. If you have a meal in the evening, make sure that you don't go to bed at least 2 to 3 hours afterwards, or don't recline. Other things, avoiding alcoholic beverages, tobacco in any form, caffeinated drinks, things which are high in citric acid like tomato paste, etc., are all implicated in the presence of GERD. Then if those lifestyle modifications do not help correct the symptoms, then you talk about medications like antacids, which are over the counter, or certain medicines like proton pump inhibitors, which block the release of acid. But having said that, I do also need to mention that you need a gastroenterologist to check for all those things first.
Exactly. But sometimes we are thinking that it is a reflux, or it is just the heartburn, but actually it turns out to be cancer, or it turns out to be a bad infection like an H. pylori infection that actually can turn into ulcer and cancer as well.
Definitely. So I'm glad you brought that up, because GERD is certainly not a trivial disease. It by itself causes the symptoms, as you said, of the heartburn and sometimes difficulty swallowing, because over time that acid which comes up into the esophagus can cause swelling, it can cause scarring over there, it can cause ulcers in the stomach, and then over time, if you have H. pylori, which is a very common bacteria, about 1 in 10 Americans have it, it can lead to a type of stomach cancer as well.
Exactly, and I see that very, very commonly in my practice. And to all my viewers, if your stomach symptoms are not getting better, make sure you go back to your doctor and your gastroenterologist and discuss that with them, and let them know that your symptoms are not getting better and they need to be checked again. So thank you so much, Dr. Zafar, for coming and enlightening us with your expert opinion and great information. Of course, I learned something new as well today. So knowledge is never enough. It is never too much knowledge. So always be a seeker. Your patients are your best teachers. That's what I think. And always prevention is better than cure. So Dr. Zafar, after talking to you, I realized that knowledge is never enough. We never know everything. And that reminds me of a beautiful poem my father wrote. He was a great Urdu poet, Shabnam Ramani, and I'm going to just briefly describe the translation of his poem that says, "How can anybody be arrogant about their knowledge? When you put your one foot in the light, your next foot is in the dark. Take care of yourself and everybody around you, and see you next week. Keep watching Health and Wellness with Dr. Shabnam on Amber Dazzle Show." Thank you.
method here in ACR is one of the best help meeting here in oncologic research. And you see there are hundreds of, there are thousands of researchers and the clinicians here presenting their data. So I definitely go and walk around with each and every poster session and tell you more detail what is happening in this part of the world. Stay tuned. Thank you. Billy, how are you?
I'm very well. Very nice to meet you today.
Welcome here in ACR, a great event, right?
It is a wonderful event.
Yeah,
all the best brains in cancer research are here and patient care.
Definitely. What is happening here for the pancreatic cancer? What do you think? What is going on?
Well, so this is a new technology that is being developed with the help of a grant from the National Science Foundation, and it's to allow early detection of cancers which up to this point it's not been possible to detect them at an early stage.
Well,
and so so pancreatic cancer is, as you know, a terrible disease, and the 5-year survivorship is under 9%. So it's pretty close to a death sentence for most people by the time they are detected. If it were possible to detect it at an earlier stage, then the current approaches of surgery and the various chemo and drug treatments would be much more effective.
Definitely. I think at this point we need the early detection. And I think what you are doing, early detection is critical. If we can detect the tumor in the early stage, we can treat the patient, we can treat the tumor. And I think this is a very critical thing, we need it actually, especially for in the patient care. And I love the idea, and there are so many people actually are here, they're working, especially Dr. Malik team, they're working on more like early detection for more toward like radiogenomics, but what I see, it's pretty similar thing. Amazing, I think, so would you think it would be ready for the clinical, for the patient, like when people can get the benefits of it?
Well, it's still it's still got a ways to go, but basically what it is, it's a very tiny, it's a finger stick of blood where they will be able to look at the protein signature to determine whether or not whether you've started to develop pancreatic cancer, and then people such as you and your colleagues can go in and through imaging will be able to confirm what the result of the test
Wonderful,
is.
Dr. McKenzie, really very good information, and I think if you wanted to talk to Dr. McKenzie, he definitely can be reached out here
At the active signal.
Very good active signal, and we definitely will be talking more here at the ASR. Let's explore more what they have. Definitely not in only pancreatic cancer, in general, cancer. Thank you very much. Thanks, Dr.
Okay, thank you very much.
Hi, this is Krupa.
And this is Poonam.
Welcome to Amber Dazzle Show.
Welcome to the Amber Dazzle Show, guys. So Krupa, what do we have today? What are we going to talk about?
We are going to talk about an organized household, how to keep one. But
Wow.
before we dive into the topic, I see some lovely pieces sitting here today.
So I want to talk to you guys about some new pieces that I've designed lately. And one of them is this beautiful amethyst statement piece
Oh,
that
wow,
I've
this
made of
looks
natural stones.
Pretty.
Do you like it, Krupa?
I love it. I totally love it.
Here you go. So this time I decided to work a little bit with healing crystals, as we spoke in our last segment that they do have a healing effect on your body. And I decided, you know what, why not make a statement piece out of it? So I decided to design that with a little lion motif. And then because the piece is so heavy at the bottom, I just decided to keep it simple and accessorize it with just a plain gold chain. And it's a versatile, very ubiquitous piece which you can just wear on any piece of outfit and just jazz a simple piece of outfit up. What do you think about that?
I
Krupa?
totally love it, and I love this idea of double chaining.
Yes.
Because since
the
this
pendant
is
is heavy.
this is very secured. It's going to keep it secured.
Yes.
I like it. It looks pretty.
A little bit of style to any simple outfit, and then you could just go out there and seize the day. So that's our
Bring the lioness out of
bring
me.
the lioness out of you. Exactly. And this second piece, I just decided to play a little bit with colors, since we're kind of in that transition period. We're not quite there with fall, and spring is almost around the corner. I thought, why not play with a little bit of colors? So I ended up making this beautiful natural stone piece again, and it's made of agates. And some druzies, and I threw in a little bit of pearls in there, and that's another beautiful piece that you can wear with pretty much any of the contrasting colors. So it's got a lot of blues in there, a bunch of green stones, some yellow stones as well. So it's a perfect accessory that you could use for like a springy outfit. And like I said in my last segment, if you are wearing busy prints, it does not mean that you cannot have accessories on. So right there, these pieces prove that you can couple them with a simple yellow outfit, or you could wear with like a nice white color outfit, and all of these accessories will make you dazzle in the public. So here are my two pieces of the day that I wanted to show you guys, and then I guess with that, let's dive right into our segment. So guys, we are picking socially relevant topics every week and trying to give our tidbits on how we would like to better our life along with positive thinking and spirituality. But at the same time, you need to balance also. So today we have picked a topic: how to create an organized household. So what are some of the things you do, Krupa, to make sure that you're on point with organization?
Yes. See, as a working woman, I have to make sure that I have an organized life, organized household, because if not, then I'm completely lost. So for me, a few things that I follow. First thing I do is declutter. I love to get things, but it's not just getting. You have to get rid of things too. You just can't keep on hoarding things. You have to. So for me, I have made a rule for myself. If I get one outfit, I make sure I get rid of one outfit. Either donate, discard, but whatever it is. So I make room in my closet. I do not like to have too many things around in my household. Every wall in your house doesn't need to have a frame. Every room in your house doesn't need to be filled with furniture. So you got to make sure that you declutter your house. It makes it nice, it makes it peaceful, it makes it clean.
Gives a good positive energy, and I feel that's a great tip, because a lot of us try to think that if we have too much stuff, that means it's gonna look pretty, but sometimes, guys, less is more.
Less is more. It just accumulates dust many times.
Absolutely. So go out there in every room and try to see what are some of the things that you don't need that have been lying there for years collecting dust, and just start decluttering and just see the rays of positive energy in your life, and you're going to feel amazing. So that was a great tip. Thank you, Krupa, for this tip of the day. With that, we're going to wrap up this segment of the Amber Dazzle Show, and we're going to keep coming with such fun tips and fun things to talk about, and of course a lot of jewelry to showcase, and a dose of positivity to bring a smile on your life. Thank you. This is Poonam.
This is Krupa.
And we're signing off, and we'll see you soon in another segment.
Hello everyone, my name is Ruby Bandari, and I'm here to design your life. Every aspect of the things that we do are related to lifestyle, fashion, and lots of fun. So, first of all, I'd like to tell you a little bit about what I do. I have a company called Silk Threads, and we are at our 28th year of business and bringing beautiful clothing from New Delhi, India to the United States. So I have been designing since I was 13 years old. So for those of you who don't know, I have a very, very creative mother who actually taught me how to cut, stitch, and she made me take my first classes because she said every Indian girl should know how to sew. By the time I was 19 years old, I had already opened Silk Threads because there was a need for Indian ethnic wear in the United States, and nobody had really, really good access to something that they could wear that wasn't borrowed from their mom. Fast forward about 15 years when the United States started really appreciating Indian embroideries and beautiful colors and fabrics, and European designers were taking inspirations from India. Silk Threads was already on a roll where we were making beautiful ponchos, kaftans, and tunics for our own people, and brought it into mainstream America, where we were supplying to over 500 stores across the United States, Mexico, Canada, and Europe. So very, very exciting for all of us. And till today, this is the trend. The trend is interesting, fun, exciting clothing. So that is how the journey started. At the beginning, I was very, very motivated because I knew I just had to make beautiful ethnic wear for everyone to wear to parties every single weekend in Austin, Texas. But soon, You know, everyone started having great clothes from Silk Threads, and I couldn't understand now what to do. But before I knew it, I realized that there is beauty in every corner of our city and our world. So everywhere I went, I saw beautiful buildings, beautiful structures, art, sculpture. I saw just things as simple as a chair, or I saw a flower, things that would inspire me to make beautiful new color combinations, silhouettes. And I also like to see what kind of body style people have. Soon I realized that people's body style was so important in what they looked and how they felt every day when they wore their clothing. So I started specializing in body shapes and types. So later on we can get into different body types specifically and what things people should wear. But it's very, very important to know that the Asian body and mainstream American body and the European body and even an African body is completely different than all each other. So when you're trying to design for someone, it's gotta be different for every person. So at Silk Threads, we like to advise you and we like to tell you about your colors, what looks great on your skin, what looks great on your body according to your body type, and you know what is going to work according to your budget and your style of clothing. Today, Silk Threads is known for making beautiful collections each season, twice a year, that you can love and enjoy. But really what's most important is that you wear something that looks good on you and looked good on you yesterday, today, and 10 years from now. And even though you may have lost weight or gained weight or there's been a size shift, what looks good on you is generally the same all the time because of your body type. You can find me on silkthreads.com, Silk Threads Inc. on Instagram, and Silk Threads by Ruby Bhandari on Facebook. And start looking for Design Your Life by Ruby Bhandari.
The preceding was paid program paid by Amber Dazzle. Promotional consideration is paid by following advertisers.